last 10 years, I've been cultivating the whole platform and making sure that the design is coming into place so that we can execute what we want to execute properly.
Okay. So there are issues that have been bubbling in your spirit, just inside of you, to say,
yeah, certainly.
We need to work this out.
Yeah,
and
certainly.
we need to find a new way.
And also Soweto Parliament doesn't only carry the responsibility of Soweto. It also carries the responsibilities of other townships, not only just black communities, even white communities. We now have the guys in Sandton, forming Sandton Parliament.
Oh, okay.
Alexandra Parliament launched last week.
That's awesome.
You guys must go out there and talk to the guys. The logo is the same. They're using the logo of Soweto Parliament.
Oh, okay.
It's just written Alexandra Parliament.
Yeah.
So that we can have a uniform. You see, that's a platform for young people to stop idling in street corners and actually getting involved and holding politics accountable, economics accountable, and social accountability.
Yeah.
You can't ask for a better life.
Okay.
I promise you, see what's happening here? You're going to see it happening in New York. You're going to see it happening in Britain. Because half the time, African people, we are expected to take and consume from the world. But
we never
for the first time, there's a revolution that is going to be global, that's starting here. Because our problems, our politics and economics, we don't have unique problems. Even people in Britain have the same problem. But again, you don't expect the average person who doesn't read or is not informed to understand that global outlook on things.
Let's start with Soweto Parliament.
Yeah.
What is Soweto Parliament aiming to achieve, maybe in the next 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, so corruption is at the center of the entire continent. It's downfall.
Yeah.
We've got people who don't care for the people, for communities. Let's just focus on Soweto. If there's 100 million designated towards the development of Soweto, maybe 2 million or 20 million is for sports, 20 million for education, nothing happens. And I'm not exaggerating when I say nothing happens. You know why nothing happens? Evidence of nothing happening. 1994, 2021. What is the difference in Soweto? The answer is nothing. Every development you're seeing is private. It's people building their own businesses. Jabulani Mall, Ntatenkuna, Maponya Mall, Richard Maponya. That's not government. But where's all this money going? If I quantify the loss from the budgets that were passed and actually authorized to go into Soweto for development, and the answer is nothing happened since 1994, where's that money? Well, it's in the champagnes and the BMs, so you don't need to justify it. So ours is to make sure that that culture of nonsense stops. People won't be happy. They're not happy now.
Yeah.
They won't be happy.
But how do we move then that nonsense off the way?
It's accountability.
How is Soweto Parliament saying that this is our strategy in trying to
let me walk you
this
through
problem?
it. When money leaves national and goes into provincial budgets, when it leaves the province and goes to the city, when it leaves the city and goes into Soweto, we now track it. We say this 100 million, we're leaving with it from the city, we're leaving with it. It's in Soweto now. Okay, where's the 20 million for sports development? It's here. Then within our structures, those who are in political accountability will focus on that money and make sure that they see it through. Even this thing of when a plate is 100 rand and you invoicing government for 4 million,
for 4 million,
those things will never be done under our watch. So we are now following every step by step, making sure that there's accountability so that we can see that development.
Yeah.
I don't think the systems are as bad as people say they are. The human element is bad. The people leading the systems are horrible. Because how dare you take millions from a community that's so poor? Right now the Olympics are playing. Do you think that there's no one faster than those people representing South Africa in Soweto? Definitely someone's faster. But how does one move from Soweto to running for the province, for the country, if there's no sports in Soweto, there's no facilities to run? 100 meters, where does athletics in the 8 million people in Soweto? Where's athletics there? Tell me, do you know a place where we say that kids can do high jump, long jump, or even run 100 meters or relay?
No.
But when you go to other countries, people practice that every day. So how can we begin to compete with the rest of the world if we have leaders as disgusting as ours?
But do you then think that age is the problem?
Age is the problem. And most of these leaders, age and greed is the problem. People are greedy. Human beings are greedy animals. And that's something that must be addressed. Because if you are, tell me, let's not even look in parliament, in the main parliament. Let's look in councillors. You have a councillor that's 75 years old. doesn't even have a Facebook account. No, let's be honest. Where's the sense in that? They say ESCOM, the transformers are all blown up. They exploded overnight. That person, you go to the house, you knock, they say, "Oh, Shemuko Para, her legs have swollen." Obvious, old people in and out of hospital. So how can that person lead a community of people who are on Facebook, on Instagram, doesn't even know what Instagram looks like? The kids are on Instagram, can't even help the kids with anything because doesn't even understand the culture. How? Let me make an example of the Jewish people. Jewish people had a bad time in their history called the Holocaust. Do you think that, what did they do to get over that history? We now have apartheid museum. Do you know what's the purpose of apartheid museum? It's for my kids who are born in this freedom to remember that we must hate white people so that we can keep divided.
Okay.
There's nothing else. Why don't the apartheid museum be turned into a black excellence museum? Why can't we go to that museum and see Richard Maponya's history? And why doesn't the education system teach about Richard Maponya instead it teaches about Verwoerd? And that's why our kids would rather loot Maponya Mall and not Sentin. Where was Sentin during the looting? Safe. Where was Melrose Ark? Safe. Sentin is 5 minutes away from Alexandra. But the black people, our people, decided to kill their own infrastructure and not go 5 minutes to kill the white people's infrastructure. Which comes back and addresses that when they say Lux was protecting Maponya Mall and it's a white-owned thing. Let me tell you, you know what we were protecting? 2,000 jobs. 2,000 jobs from the township.
Yeah.
We're protecting the taxi industry that relies on the mall to be operational for it to be operational.
Yes.
And if anyone is a fool to begin to say that the taxi industry is not black-owned, it's probably the least transformed industry that is fully black-owned.
Yeah.
So when you protect the entire economy, because you have an outlook that is more open-minded than the narrow-minded thinking, because they just, and all the people that are saying Maponya Mall is white-owned, can I have a certificate of ownership and tell me which white people own that mall? Can I ask you now which white people own that?
I wouldn't say.
Thank you. And you're in a better position to answer.
Yeah.
So what do you think Nyaope sitting Kokasi who's saying that? Where do you think they get that information from? They get it from the same old politicians whose agenda is to divide us on the ground.
Now, you listed two things that you say is a problem
Yeah.
when I was speaking about the current leadership that we have, even in Township, and you said age and greed.
Yeah.
If we take age out, how do we deal with the greed factor?
Yeah.
Because it's not like the young people. We know young radical people who showed themselves later that they're just driven by greed.
Yeah.
They just want to gain the position that the older people are having. So how do you deal with that one?
So, the first thing you do, before you even address the age thing and whatever else, you must understand the background. The structures we are operating on, we inherited them from the apartheid system.
True.
The black leadership since 1994 hasn't built any system to advance its people.
Okay.
There's no single system that was built. The banking system remains to be what was there. It was an infrastructure of white people and Afrikaans people. The systems were built by them. So do you think if we just inherit their systems, will anything change?
No.
That's why you find young people like myself who created new systems that run parallel with the old systems to hold these systems accountable so that we can have practical change.
Okay.
It's that simple, isn't it?
It's simple in theory.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm
it's
asking-
even in practice. We've got 10 years. Come to Soweto.
Yeah.
Show me what all these leaders that have come and gone. We're still there. Come and gone. In national. Show me their impact versus what we've done. I can take you to any community in Soweto and show you what we've done. I can take you 10 years of my leadership in Soweto. I can take you to each community and show you our impact. You can talk to the people who are not there. They'll tell you, who? You're talking about the Bozara. These people did this for us, this for us, this for us. We can come and show you. So imagine ordinary people competing with an entire government.
Yeah.
And we are not in competition, by the way. It's just unfortunate that at some point there'll be comparison which leads to competition.
So in terms of young people development and ensuring a smooth running, I know that it's a parallel system that is intended to either correct or overshadow the system that has been there. So that now, how do you look at this as Soweto Parliament? How do you say this is in this system? This is how we are going to deal, or this is how we intend to develop and deal with this problem greed that we see as a number 2 problem.
So the one thing that we've been doing is that we collaborate with this government, because where there's collaboration, there's transparency, because we're now not assuming what they are doing. We're helping them understand that this system is here to complement this system. But the people who don't like this complement because it comes with accountability are actually at the center of corruption, because they don't want us there, because they know what they're doing. So our approach is the collaboration and the unity. At the center of all our philosophies is the idea of unity. In small scale, large scale. Small scale is in Soweto, large scale is in the continent.
Okay. Now I hear you. Now, just on an offset, how would you deal, because of you mentioned that a lot, that the systems that are here, one of the other things are meant to divide us and keep us apart. And then how would you deal, or how do you think as a country we should deal with the issue of racism?
Let me be honest with you. I just gave you all the answers. How do you deal with racism? Let me help you understand something. The human mind, how it works. I can't change your mind.
Okay.
I can't control your mind. Ultimately, it belongs to you. You'll do what you think is right at the end of the day. The best way to infiltrate anyone's mind is through the environment. Do you understand that if you give me your child, and your child lives with me, and I have a swimming pool at my house, what happens to the child over time? Will become a swimmer at some point.
Yes.
You've put a swimming pool in the environment. If you put business in the environment, the child interacts with the business.
Okay.
And at some point you say, you are tall enough to be behind the counter. You must sell when I go to the toilet. It's a matter of time before this kid sells the whole day. So we need to address the environment. And the environment comes with the systems, with the infrastructure. Right now, we are riding on the colonizers' infrastructure. Nothing will possibly come right out of that. We need a leadership that can build systems. We've proved to you that these things are possible. We've built an entire system called Soweto Parliament that even government is now relying on for some order in the township. Because look at what we did. We managed to save an entire economy. They gave us debts, just around 1.7 billion that we saved the economy. We don't get paid for that. There's some people who get paid for that. Where were they during the first 5 days of looting, when the real gunshots were being fired?
Well, there's an inquiry.
Oh, come on. Inquiry. Come on.